How to create a drop-down list in Excel. To validate the data that is entered in an Excel sheet, it is possible to define a list of values that are allowed for that cell and so restrict the values that are entered in that cell. This is very useful, especially when you're circulating a form amongst people, a data entry form that has to be filled up when you're doing a survey or collecting information, and you want to restrict the responses, the type of responses that people give. So by defining a set of values for that cell, you can make sure that the person who's filling the form will choose only one of the options given and will not enter some kind of random value. That makes it difficult when you're consolidating the data to prepare a report or to analyze it. And then you will end up spending a lot of time cleaning the data. So in this example, I have a simple form in which I want the age to be restricted to one of these values. I want it to be any one of these because I don't want people to type just a number or say 12 years or 15 years. I want them to enter one of these values. Now, there are two ways of doing this, of creating the drop-down list. The first way is by typing the list of values. So I'll select the cell, go to Data, select Data Validation. Now, under the Settings tab, under Allow, I will choose List. And now here I am going to type the list of values. So I will say under 18 to 50. The values have to be separated by a comma, and I'll say over 50. And then say OK. Now when I go here and select this drop down, I can see that the values have been restricted. And the user can choose one. If they try to type anything else over here, they will get an error message. Okay. So I will remove this just to show the second option, or I will show it here itself. Now the other way to do it, option number 2, is to refer, instead of manually typing the values, to refer to a list of values. So here I have the list of values. I can go back to data validation, and instead of typing the list here, I can delete this and instead refer to this list. By default, Excel makes it constant, so I don't need to type in those values. And I can say OK here. Now before that, I just wanted to, what I usually do is when I'm referring to a list. So right now it's only 3 values. So in this range, I refer to 3 values. But what I usually do is maybe just make it about 10 values, just to leave room in case you want to add more values later, and say OK. So now this gives the same result. I have this. Of course, there are blank spaces here, but that is okay, because later if I want to change this data, if suppose I want to add one more slab, I say 18 to 40 and then 40 to 50 and then over 50, that gets reflected at once here. So this is a simpler way of doing it, but again you can take a call based on how many values you want to restrict. If it's only a few values unlikely to change, it's better to type out the list. But if you're going to have a very long list to refer to, and if there are likely to be many changes, it is better to create the list and refer to it when you're creating your data validation. Usually, as good practice, I do not put the list on the same page. You can put it on another sheet and hide it. Now, only for the sake of an example, I have kept it here. So this is how to create a drop-down list in Excel. Please read the appended article for more information.